to another study of the book Courage. Every Thursday morning for the past about 35, 36 weeks, we having we have been meeting in order to delve deep into the teachings of several spirit authors through the blessed mediumship of Francisco Cândido Xavier. What a blessing to be here with you today. And today, it's a special one for Spiritist groups. Today's message is message 36 by the Spirit Andrea Louise, titled Our Group. Let's see what Andrea Louise has to teach us today. I want you to focus on what can we um, use from this message in our own Spiritist practice in our Spiritist groups. Shall we? He says, quote, "In truth, our Christian Spiritist group of work is similar to farmland. The souls in suffering who search for us are like a flooded land whose draining tasks belong to us. Aggressive and rude observers are like thorn bushes that should be removed without disturbance. Members who usually enjoy mental idleness are similar to a dry land, and it's up to us to carry out the task of irrigating it with kindness. Persons of good character, but vacillating in terms of faith, are like fragile seeds that need support until time itself may strengthen them. Irritated colleagues who are easily annoyed are similar to bushes of terrible aspect when they are attacked by agricultural plagues. Dreamers, brothers and sisters, who are good in giving ideas but inefficient at putting them into practice, are like unproductive flowers. People who are always asking for something but never move a finger to do any work are similar to unproductive foliages that we should bear with patience. Friends who occupy themselves making use of sarcasm and gossip are like scavenging birds that eat the seeds on a plowed land. However, a friend who is willing to serve is a sower who goes to sow with Jesus. He does help by putting into practice the divine program, thus preparing a pathway of love and wisdom in favor of humankind for a better future. Unquote, Andrea Luis. Wow, few minutes, so much teachings for us. So here we are. I am at a Spiritist group. I hope that you have one as well, close to where you live. Not just the virtual kind, but the actual physical kind, because it makes a difference to be together in presence. If it's too far, we understand. Well, that's the message from Christ. That's up to you. If there's no groups around you, maybe you are the one who is to start a study group. Why not? We all have been beginners to a certain extent, and we want to to ensure that if we have the teachings, if we receive the talent, we don't hide the talent, right? But today he's saying our Christian Spiritist group of work is similar to farmland. So let's think of fields, let's think of places on the earth that we can cultivate for production of, let's say vegetable seeds, legumes, things like that. Then he's giving us example. The first type is souls in suffering who search for us are like the flooded land whose draining tasks belong to us. So those who come to the Spiritist Center, including those who lead it, are souls in suffering. We all to a certain extent, come to Spiritism when things are difficult. The task of the spiritual worker is to help drain the land. There's too much flooding, too much water. There may be too much, you know, focus on physical distractions. We're all flooded with information. So the task of draining the flooded land comes to the spirit workers. Then we have those who are aggressive and rude observers. There's always some who come and observe everything and comment on everything. And these should be removed without disturbance. Are also the ones here, the inspiration come to remind that there are some of us who join the spiritist groups, and all we do is to be aggressive and rude observers. We complain about everything. Everything that the group does is not right, it's not the right activity, not the right time, not the right way. And then he's saying, these are like thorn bushes that should be removed without disturbance. It's up to the group president, director, leader, man, whatever name we want to give, the person in charge with the board. We should always have a board, group of folks who are leading, because nobody gets anywhere by themselves. Then we have to ask them to kindly not return, where we can still pray for them, be understanding, but perhaps they are not just visitors, not true spirit workers. He says members who usually enjoy mental idleness are similar to dry land. It's up to the workers to carry out the task of irrigating with kindness. Members who usually enjoy mental, those are the ones who just want to come and enjoy. They receive the teachings, but there is no active work of studying or improving themselves. That's the dry land. Persons of good character, but vacillating in terms of faith, are like fragile seeds that need support. Those who are the good ones at heart, but are still yet to fully embrace the works of the Christ by doing the work of the good. And maybe we were different types from these examples at different periods of our spiritist mission. It says irritated colleagues who are easily annoyed are similar to bushes of a terrible aspect when they're attacked by agricultural plagues. Those are us who, like, we can't bear anything. Everything bothers us. The way they speak with us, the way we are corrected, the way the water is. So many examples, right? So we need to assume that all of these, if we are rude and aggressive, we're from in mental idleness, if we are vacillating in terms, if we are irritated, perhaps the plague is obsession, spiritual obsession, from incarnate to incarnate, from discarnate to incarnate. Whatever manner it takes, it may be that we are seeking with our thoughts, our ideas, and our actions the companions of those who are irritated, aggressive, rude, idle. Right? Now, who else? Those who are great dreamers, who are good in giving ideas, but inefficient at putting them into practice, are like unproductive flowers. They're beautiful. A lot of spiritist folk come and then they compare what they had with what they see, because so and so somewhere does this, so and so in Brazil did this. And we have to realize each group has a mission, each group has a story, each region is different. Um, as we grow in our spiritist groups, we have different challenges depending on where we are, who Jesus sent to our groups for us to learn together. So it's very important for us to see each other. And when we see something, not rush to the fact that, oh, perhaps if I give them ideas, it will improve. Also thinking that if the mentors are with us, which they are, with those who are leading groups, then the ideas that we give probably already occurred to the members. It's just not feasible to implement. But if you're only the one saying we could do this, this, and the other, but inefficient at putting them into practice, then we're not productive. We're just embellishing. People who are always asking for something but never move a finger to do any work are similar to unproductive foliages you should bear with patience. So there will be some who always take. They come for the passes, they come for the visualizations, but they don't give. And the last are those who have made use of sarcasm and gossip, who are like scavenger birds that eats the seed in a plowed land. Now, he mentioned to us, I like to break these studies down. So he mentions the flooded land, um, the thorn bushes, the dry land, fragile seeds, bushes of a terrible aspect, those who are diseased, right? 6, he mentions those who are unproductive flowers. 7, unproductive foliages. And 8, scavenging birds eating the seeds have been just sowed into the land. So 8 examples of how we might behave or others might behave. We always want to bring it to ourselves. Ways of being in a spiritist group that could be detrimental to the advancement of that group, in a sense of gathering more work, because the advancement of a group is not having a bigger space, more people. Is actually what are we doing with that space? Are we doing mediumistic studies, book studies? Are we going to volunteer together? Are we giving off of our time and respect? And in other hand, when we encounter those who come who are new and are in these categories, he's giving Andrea Luiz is giving the antidote, right? So he says, if the flooded land are the souls in suffering, then we drain it with time, patience. But if we have aggressive and rude observers, then we remove them without disturbance. We don't make a scene, we don't scream, we don't, just kindly remind them of the purpose of the group. Those who are mentally idle are the dry land. And what do we do with the dry land? Andrea Luiz says, irrigating it with kindness. Those who are vacillating in terms of faith but are good character are fragile seeds. And we have a seed in the gardening, right? If you have a fragile seed, you take good care of it, you give it food, water, shelter. Excuse me. You give it sustenance and you support it until it's able to go. Then irritated colleagues are the bushes of that are diseased, attacked by plague. So we give it the medicine it needs, the word of the gospel, fraternal assistance, opportunities for service. Then we have dreamers who are giving ideas but are having difficulty putting into practice. Unproductive flowers. It says unproductive foliages, those who are always asking but not giving anything in return, of never moving a finger to do the work, are unproductive foliages. And he says we should bear with patience. And those who are making use of sarcasm and gossip are the scavenging birds who eat the plowed land. But then there is so many are called, few are chosen. Right? That's the way Jesus the gospel goes. So he says, however, there were 8 examples, but now the last phrase is a friend who is willing to serve is a sower who goes to sow with Jesus. And how do we see ourselves in, because we always think of ourselves of serving, but if we are engaging in mental idleness, rude comments, aggressiveness, if you're just giving advice without working in the spiritist group, if we're doing sarcasm and gossip and calling each other to make comments, then we're not serving, we're taking. We're actually impeding, we're making it harder for those who really want to serve. So he or she does help. How do we help? By putting into practice the divine program, thus preparing a pathway of love and wisdom in favor of humankind for a better future. So we are here in the Spirit Center to help, to serve, to serve, to love, to spread consolation, to exist in the world, in a society, fulfill the law of society. What you give, others can't. What they can, you may not be able to. So we complement one another. Bettering the betterment of society comes when each and every soul within that society gets better. Spirit, incarnated spirit, gets better, and we get better by helping one another. We get better by giving of our resources to support the spirit center in its physical location. And it's, yes, friends, there are costs associated with running a spirit center, even if it's not that much. There are benefactors who pay for the bills, but we should do our part. There's also volunteering the time and the commitment, saying, being Mary or Martha, right? As the parable goes, which side are you choosing? We need to choose the right thing, which is give of your time and resources. We don't want to serve mammon, we want to serve God. And what do I mean by that? If my priority is my profession, if my priority is my activities, my experiences, this, and that, and we don't have time for the spiritist work, we are hiding the talent. Just here, I mentioned three parables, right? The parable of the talents. There is even a message in the book Among Brothers of Other Lands that in which um, a rabbi retells the parable of the talents with the spiritist knowledge. And when we return to the spiritual realm after being here for a lucky 80 and 90 years, nobody's going to look at how many stamps in our passports, how many activities our children have, which car we drive, which house we have. None of that will be the main determinant of where we end, because it's about vibrational attunement. If I'm serving mammon, I'm not serving God. So, what are our ways we want to be that sower? We want to be the one who serves, as Andrea Luis says, a friend who is willing to serve as a sower, who goes to sow with Jesus. So, this week, we want to take this message, of utmost importance to the Spiritist group, and think of how I can go and sow with Jesus, not only in the Spiritist Center, but in every aspect of my life, right? In our lives. God willing, dear friends, we will reflect throughout the week, each and every day, a little bit of our role in our Spiritist centers. But in God willing, we will meet again next week. Meanwhile, make sure you subscribe, you follow, you like, you share. Do all the things that allow others to reach this message. God willing, I'll be back with you next week with another chapter of the book Courage. May you stay well, may you stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.